March 30th, 1981. Shots ring out in Washington, D.C. as American President Ronald Reagan becomes the target of a would-be assassin. Reagan had been in office only 2 months when he was shot, leaving a hotel after a speaking engagement. Ironically, the speech Reagan gave was about the government's role in protecting society.
Government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives. What have been some of the results of this straying from basic principles? Well, for one, violent crime has surged 10%, making neighborhood streets unsafe and families fearful in their homes.
Presidents often spoke at the Washington Hilton and had used the side entrance because generally it was easier to guard. At 2:25 in the afternoon, Reagan walked off the podium and exited the building. The entire shooting took only 10 seconds. Reagan was shot once in the chest. Presidential Press Secretary James Brady, Washington, D.C. police officer Delahanty, and Secret Service agent McCarthy were also hit. The Secret Service pushed Reagan immediately into his car as Agent McCarthy put himself between the president and the would-be assassin. The gunman was tackled to the ground, and then he too was put in a car and rushed away. In those 10 seconds, 6 shots were fired and 4 men were wounded. Secret Service Director Jack Warner describes the actions of Agent McCarthy.
He was forming an inner perimeter, like an umbrella, around the president. He senses where the shots are coming from, gets in between the president and the shots, and unfortunately was very successful because he injured himself. However, he probably did prevent another bullet from hitting the president.
The would-be assassin, John Hinckley Jr., was a 25-year-old college dropout and the son of an oil executive. Hinckley had been working at a radio station prior to shooting at the president. He bought the weapon, a .22 caliber pistol, at a pawn shop for $47. Hinckley's psychiatrist admitted to the press that Hinckley had a history of mental illness. The Reagan family came forward to share their feelings on the shooting.
I am not prepared to accept this, whether it was my father or anybody else. I have seen throughout the day the reaction of other members of the family. Mine is fury and rage and anger, and that in this country, this kind of garbage still goes on, and it is not going to happen to this president.
President Reagan survived the assassin's bullet and recovered fully. John Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity and was sent to a psychiatric institution. And Presidential Press Secretary James Brady, who suffered a debilitating head wound, became the namesake for an anti-handgun law that was passed 12 years after the shooting.